Salamat, Secretary Duque. It is good that there is an independent investigating agency para, well, if there's nothing wrong, we can accept that. If there is something wrong, then the chairman of the Red Cross has to answer for it. It's yung supervision mo was not done properly in the absence of a supervised examinations in your agency that hindi ninyo nagawa yan. I think that Gordon has to answer for that also. Now I want to focus on my attention on what appears to be an intimidation of resource persons during the Blue Ribbon Committee. Dahil ba hindi ninyo nakuha ang sagot na gusto ninyong marinig sa isang resource person, inikulong ninyo at gusto pa ninyong ipalipat na sa Pasay City Jail. Nandoon na nga ngayon. Ipanalipat, you really had him transferred in the Pasay City Jail. Now, let me just shoot the breeze with you, the senators. Kaya ba kayo nag-iimbestiga to find out the truth? So, because if the truth is already there with you, what's the use of looking for an answer in an investigation? Magtatanong kayo. Kung ayaw ninyo yung sagot, magagalit kayo, tapos you threaten, we will cite you in contempt, and we can detain you forever. Is that how a civilized Congress works? Takutan ba ito? Kaya nag-iimbestiga ka, kasi gusto mong malaman na yung sagot ng tao hindi isang ayon sa alam mo na ang totoo. Then, do not blame him because that is his truth. You just cannot assume altogether that he is lying. That would be a cockeyed view of what a hearing should be. Kaya ka nag-imbestiga, kumukuha ka ng sagot. Bakit ka makipagdebate at ang sabihin mo nagsisinungaling siya? So therefore, may sariling answer ka na. You have already in yourself the answer because every time the resource person answers and it does not fit the thing or the solution in your mind, you threaten them and actually you did actually detain them in the Pasay City Jail. So kung may alam ka na, bakit ka makipag-away? Bakit mo pa ipakulong isang tao na alam mo na pala ang sagot, bakit ka pa mag-imbestiga? If you are trying to ferret out the truth, you wait until everybody has testified. So, dyan mo na makuha ang the whole picture kung ano talaga ang nangyari. You do not do it by a piecemeal hearing. And every time you ask a question and you have a preconceived notion of what is the correct answer, you get mad and threaten them with imprisonment. Akala ba ninyo ayaw na? Akala ko ba ayaw ng mga taong Pilipinas ng martial law? Tignan mo yung ginagawa ng Senado ngayon. It is just more than a martial law. Mote pa martial law, dali ka pa doon sa korte ng military or at least it's a court. before you were held before a military or a civilian as they wanted it to be at that time. But at least there is a court hearing and the person accused is afforded the right to be heard. Yan ang importante dyan. So, ang human rights, gusto kong marinig kung ano ninyong sinasabi. The Constitution really provides that no person shall be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law. Is there a due process of law if you already have the preconceived answer, and if it does not dovetail your frame of mind, you send him to jail? Just piece of advice. I think sino yung tao na sabi ko nga, durugin na ninyo. Yung parmalin, durugin na ninyo. Pero not at the expense of the constitutional rights of whoever is testifying there. Hindi ko ninidepensa, nagsasalita lang ako bilang abogado kasi nakikita ko dito sa briefer ko, kinulong na ninyo. So what's the use of hearing kung may alam ka na pala na Mr. Gordon, you're a lawyer. Do not try to be a lawyer and not a despot. You are not the king of Congress. Please do it for the sake of you, your family, and for the country. So, bago ako magtapos, marami na akong nadaldal. Wala na yung face shield. Ito yun. Ito yung face shield ng gobyerno. Ito yung nag-deteriorate. Foam lang to eh. And of course, yung garter. Pero the garter has many, over time, maging maluwang yan. So you transfer there's a button there. Ilipat mo naman dito para higpit uli. Over time, pag maubos itong butas, isang butas na lang naiwan, bumili ka na lang ng garter, talian mo lang, at iganon mo sa likod mo, tapos, ito lang ang deteriorate. Because, as I said, this is brittle. Yan ang misteryo ng kung iganon mo yan, yun na yun. Yan ang face mask. Pero nandito yung para sa pawis. Kung wala ka namang foam, pwede ka naman magtrapo ng panyo mo. Nakita ko sa sine, sa operating room, ang pahid ng pawis ng surgeon yung tatrabaho, yung nurse. Ito lang Actually, ang mag-ano niyan, yung foam, marami kang makitang foam ngayon. Guntingin mo lang. Nag-ilagay mo ng paste. Yun na yun. If that is really what you're talking about, the product. How can this thing deteriorate? Improper handling of abuse in the use of the masisira talaga. Kung mayroon itong ilagay mo lang yan dyan, mask, hugas at iwas. Iwas ng wag lumapit. Ito pa. Ito para kay Gordon lang rin. May I ask the senators if it is true that the hallmarks, Hilmarks, may S, is it true that Hillmark is the contractor of the new Senate building being constructed? Is this the same Hillmark contractor that built the Iloilo Convention Center and the Makati City Hall building, too, that the Senate also investigated during the last administration? Gusto ko rin malaman na sa iyo, Mr. Gordon, yung dalawang building, paki-report na rin sa tao. The reason why the people are also interested in the investigation, in the audit, is gusto ng tao, buksan ninyo ang libro para makita kung saan tumakbo yung pera. Yan ang gusto ng tao. Hindi na masyado sila sa audit. Nakakalito yan sa ordinaryong tao. Kaya ako ngayon, hindi naman ako CPA. Ba't kung sabihin, buksan mo ang libro para malaman ng tao? Baka may makita ang Supreme Court na pagkakamali. Talagang marami akong nakita as a lawyer. I said I'd like to discuss again the right of a person to incriminate himself. Yung pagsabi hindi naman sa if it is not you're calling him not as a resource person, but already the inquest is focusing on their something like liability, you miss one entirely point of law, and that is a person being advised that any testimony from her on that you would give may be used against you in a criminal or civil suit. Yan ang hindi nila malaking bayo. Tayong mga abogado, halos dito kaharap ko. You cannot do that kung ang questioning mo is already focusing on the guilt of accused of a wrongdoing, tapos gusto mong extract further from his mouth, then he cannot go to prison by using his mouth. You have to advise him of his constitutional right. Dapat ganun lang. That is in keeping with due process. The right to be heard and the right to be forewarned that there is a criminal case cropping up by your testimony because ang iyong investigation is not already from using the resource person as an information platform, but already placing him in jeopardy. Yan ang pati ito si Atty. Topacio, hindi ito susurrender. Dikitan ninyo yung mga kaso ni Gordon hanggang eleksyon, hindi mananalo si Gordon. Sigurado yan. Especially if you can file the proper case on time. Yung lang niya, yung final and executory, yung disallowance. Disallowance is, when the notice of disallowance is simply, you return the money. But the other side of the picture is that you have committed, because you malverse the money, you can go to prison. So the other side of that is really malversation. Dikitan ninyo yan at hindi abot ng election time yan si Gordon. And if the entire story is narrated to the people, then I'm sure that mata sa mata. Parang ganun. So, it is not good to be... mas maganda mo yung palabas mo sa publiko na tigas ka, marunong ka, and that you are very proficient in the English language. Wala tayong ano dyan, kaduda-duda. At saka yung cutting the testimony when he is already about to explain everything, i-cut mo, then you introduce the theory and just saying, right, is that right, is that correct? So you want your theory being dovetailed by the narration of the witness, which is a bad strategy for a lawyer. Hindi siguro ito kasi na, I don't know if he has appeared in court si Gordon. Pero maraming lapses yan dyan. And it will, in the end, discredit him. Maraming salamat sa pagtangkilig ninyo mga kapatid kong Pilipino at sa muli natin pagkita.